This is Sam. Sam earns $72,000 a year. That's more than most people on the planet will ever see. And Sam is broke. Not can't buy groceries, broke. Worse. Invisible broke. Nice car, nice apartment, decent vacations, and a net worth of almost nothing after 15 years of working full-time. Sam isn't lazy, and he isn't stupid. He's just running 10 pieces of software in his head that were installed by his parents, his friends, and about 10,000 advertisements, 10 habits that quietly guarantee he stays exactly where he is. By the end of this video, you'll know all 10, and I'd bet money you're running at least 3 of them right now. Let's find out which ones. Habit number 1, saving whatever is left at the end of the month. Here's the problem. There is never anything left. Not because the money isn't there, but because human brains treat available money as spendable money. Economists call it Parkinson's Law. Expenses rise to meet income. Wealthy people flip the waterfall. The moment the paycheck lands, a fixed percentage, 10, 15, 20%, leaves automatically into savings and investments. They spend what's left after saving. Same income, opposite order, completely different life. If you change only one thing from this entire video, make it this one. Automate the transfer for the morning after payday, and the money is gone before your brain files it under spendable. Habit 2. Borrowing money to buy things that lose value. The new car is the classic. The average new car payment in America is now over $700 a month, and the car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot. Think about what that means. You're paying interest on top of full price for an asset that's evaporating while you own it. It is mathematically the exact opposite of investing. The middle class finances cars, furniture, phones, and vacations. The wealthy finance assets, things that pay them. If you can't buy it twice in cash, the uncomfortable truth is you can't afford it once. Habit 3. Believing a high salary makes you rich. It doesn't. Wealth is not what you earn. It's what you keep, multiplied by time. Researchers who studied actual millionaires found something uncomfortable. Many high earners, doctors, lawyers, executives, had shockingly low net worth because their spending scaled perfectly with their income. Meanwhile, teachers and engineers on ordinary salaries quietly stacked up 7 figures. Income is the faucet. Wealth is the water level in the tank. And the drain, your lifestyle, matters more than the faucet ever will. Keep that tank image in your head. We're coming back to it. Habit 4. Death by convenience. Food delivery that costs 40% more than the restaurant. Subscriptions you forgot you have. Fees for late payments. Out-of-network ATMs. Small in-app purchases. Each one feels like nothing. $5 here, $12 there. But run the numbers for a typical household, and the convenience tax easily hits $300 to $500 a month. Invested instead at an average market return, that's roughly $500,000 over 30 years. You don't need to become a monk. You need one boring hour, once a month, reviewing every transaction. The wealthy audit their money. The broke avoid looking at it because looking feels bad. That avoidance is the most expensive comfort you'll ever buy. Habit 5. Having exactly one income machine, you. If every dollar you'll ever earn must come through your own hours, you've put a hard ceiling on your life because your hours are capped. The middle class trades time for money and stops there. The wealthy use that same money to buy assets, index funds, businesses, real estate, and those assets earn around the clock, whether they're working, sleeping, or on a beach. You don't need to be rich to start. A single dollar invested is a tiny employee that never sleeps, never quits, and hires more employees on its own. The habit isn't be rich. The habit is, every month, without exception, convert some labor into assets. Habit 6. Spending money to look rich to people who aren't watching. The designer logo, the badge on the car, the watch, most status purchases are a transaction between you and an imaginary audience. Here's the brutal irony. The spending that signals wealth is usually what prevents it. Every dollar that goes into looking rich is a dollar that can't go into being rich. And actual wealthy people figured this out. That's why so many of them drive ordinary cars and wear plain clothes. When you have the money, you stop needing to prove it. The cheat code: buy status for your future self instead. A funded retirement account is the most exclusive luxury item on earth. Most people will never own one. Habit 7. The windfall reflex. Tax refund, bonus, birthday money. That side gig payment, the middle class brain labels it extra, and extra means spend. Psychologists call this mental accounting, same dollars, different mental folder, wildly different treatment. But your net worth doesn't know which folder the money came from. A $3,000 refund invested every year on its own can grow past $250,000 over a working lifetime. Simple rule: windfalls follow the same split as your paycheck. Save your percentage first, enjoy the rest guilt-free. You still get the fun, you just stop paying for it with your future. Habit 8. Outsourcing your financial brain. Most people spend more time researching a phone purchase than they'll ever spend learning how taxes, credit, or compound interest work. Money feels boring, complicated, and slightly shameful, so they just don't look. And the system is counting on that. Every fee, every bad loan, every predatory buy now, pay later scheme is priced for the customer who doesn't read the terms. You don't need a finance degree. 1 hour a week, one video, one chapter, one podcast puts you ahead of most of the country within a year. Financial literacy isn't taught in school, which means it's a competitive advantage available to literally anyone who bothers. Habit 9, and these hurts because it punishes people who are trying, saving diligently but never investing. Cash in a low-interest account feels safe, but inflation eats roughly 2 to 3% of its buying power every single year. Your pile grows in numbers and shrinks. $10,000 under the mattress style, after a decade of average inflation, buys about what $7,500 buys today. The safe option has a guaranteed loss built in. Yes, keep an emergency fund in cash. 3 to 6 months of expenses. But beyond that, money needs to be in assets that historically outpace inflation. Being all cash isn't cautious. It's a slow leak you've been told is a shelter. And habit 10, the one that makes all the others worse: waiting. I'll start when I earn more, after the wedding, after the car's paid off, next January. Watch this. A 25-year-old investing $200 a month can end up with more at retirement than a 35-year-old investing $400 a month. Double the money, and they still lose because compounding cares about time more than amounts. Every year of later is the single most expensive purchase in your life, and it doesn't even feel like spending. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is genuinely, boringly, today. So, the 10 habits: spending before saving, financing things that melt, confusing salary with wealth, the convenience tax, owning zero assets, status spending, blowing windfalls, staying financially illiterate, hiding in cash, and waiting for a later that never comes. Count how many you're running. 3 or more? Congratulations, you found the leak, and a leak you can see is a leak you can fix. Start with habit 1. Automate it this week. Now, if you think your finances are bad, wait until you see the numbers for the average American. The statistics are genuinely jaw-dropping, and I break them all down in tomorrow's video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Your future self is counting on you.